Our officials, Mike Reed, Tony Henderson, Olandis Poole. And we're set for the Horizon League Tournament champions and the co-champs of the regular season of the Big 12 underway in Tulsa.
Early on, we see a lot of movement coming from Texas Tech up top, especially they love to get on the back end into the pick and roll. See a post up in here to Culver early.
They clear out for Culver, tries to get it down to the baseline, comes to Moretti inside. Now the big fella with a hook in close, Odiase with an opening basket.
Now good patience there as they investigate, run their set, end up with the high percentage finish. That's textbook in terms of starting a basketball game.
Here's Drew McDonald out on top. Sharp on the drive with a layup, comes up short, and Moretti will clear it. Culver lobs down low to Odiase. McDonald on his hip. Nice move inside.
Well, here's the thing about it. You are who you are at this point of the season. Odiase has the ability to post up down low. You're not going to go away from it, so you see it early. 2 early post ups, 2 successful possessions.
Opening 3 by Walton's off the mark. Threw it away, though. And a little raindrop that won't fall.
Well, it's clear Texas Tech early looking to attack the paint, go inside, establish the paint first. That opens up the inside-outside game.
Nice back door. 6-0 start for the Red Raiders.
Again, the pressure release. When you deny on the wing, on the baseline, you taught to cut back door. Excellent read and react that time by Texas Tech.
Yeah, tied together here early in terms of their passing and cutting. This is just another example, Jimmy.
Well, again, you understand that you want to deny outside, and Culver's going to attract so much attention. Mooney backdoor, they kind of act like they played together before. They know each other really well. So it just sets up for those reaction type plays that you can get baskets inside.
Yeah, working in concert well there in that 2-man game.
Walton, quick move to the hoop. Nice drive. Opening score for Dantez Walton.
You see the pressure right here. This is one thing that Northern Kentucky wants to do. It's not necessarily to create a steal, but it's kind of disrupt the Texas Tech offense, kind of run some time off the clock.
Yeah, not let them walk into their half-court sets as well.
And we got a foul on Tyler Sharp.
Now, just a straight line drive here as Northern Kentucky lifts the Red Raiders defense and creates those opportunities to put it on the deck and finish.
Francis checks in for Texas Tech, and Tariq Owens takes a break. Here's Mooney on the drive, got by Sharp, but threw it up off the window, got his own rebound somehow. Still fighting for it. And possession arrow will be to the Norse. Don't miss the wildest ride on television as Animal Kingdom returns with an all-new season this summer on TNT and the Watch TNT app.
And Texas Tech right here in a trap of its own full court, able to create an opportunity defensively.
There's those turnovers, 16 per game on the season the Red Raiders force opponents into. Really unnerved, discombobulate teams.
Culver with a nice kick out for the 3. Moretti misses, and the rebound off to Northern Kentucky. Tate fouled by Francis.
And to me, Coach, I think this is an area for Northern Kentucky that they have to try to exploit, and that's in your secondary break or fast break, because of the size advantage Texas Tech has. I think you have to move it. You have to attack it early before they can get set. And that time, Jaden Tate able to get out in secondary, use his athletic ability, create an opportunity, now get himself to the free throw line.
Well, in particular, when Texas Tech gets into passing lanes, they extend. They're not going to let you reverse the ball through the air. That's where the use of the bounce, purposeful bounce, as Tate demonstrated there in picking up the foul, and now 2 free throw opportunities.
Tate, sophomore, Ohio guy. You know his family?
I know his family. His father, dating myself because I'm old now. His father actually is from Toledo, went to my basketball camp, played on my AAU team, which is Jermaine Tate, started at Ohio State and finished up at Cincinnati. So I'm old, man.
Dang. You actually freaked me out on that one a little bit.
Hey, well, you had my games back in the
I had your games.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
That's right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, if you're feeling old, how do you think I feel? And then take it to the next level. How does Brad feel?
Brad feels great. What are you talking about? He's just more mature than
He's
you and I.
got more vitality than we have.
Oh, boy.
It'll be a long day, buddy.
Did your games at Ohio State and in the league, right?
That's right.
Walton hooks inside. McDonald, one of his first touches. Strong to the hoop, but off the window, and the rebound off to Owens.
Yeah, that time McDonald a little off balance in that post move, and I think he has to show some patience against size. That does bother him at times in the post.
Nice ball movement by the Red Raiders. Culver looking for some help. Moretti with 9 on the shot clock. Culver trying to work for a shot. Going to have to hurry. Got it away. And the rebound off to Walton.
Yeah, excellent defense that time, coached by Norris, able to keep the ball in front of them, not biting for pump fakes, cut off the dribble drive.
Sharp cut off the low post. McDonald, this should be a mismatch. He's going to kick it back out to Sharp for 3. McDonald kept it alive, got fouled underneath.
It's really unique the way Texas Tech gets out into passing lanes. They extend in a manner that forces teams either to back cut or try and make a play off the bounce, but they help so well in terms of being tied together defensively, so tough to get open looks.
Drew McDonald, a senior out of Cold Spring, Kentucky, played at Newport Catholic Center. And he has been sensational for this program. He's just the face of the franchise, basically, along with John Brandon, the coach.
Well, I was talking to a couple players, and I said, what does McDonald mean to Drew, to this team? He said that he's everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just what he does on the court. He sets the tone off the court by how they interact with each other, how they, do things in the community, taking care of schoolwork. I mean, everything that's involved in a senior player you want as a leader, because it's not just what we do on the court, but it's what we do off the court.
Culver doubled momentarily. McDonald helps out, kicks it to the corner. Again, shot clock winding down. The North's doing a good job on defense again. 4 to shoot. Moretti on the drive. Got it to go.
Late clock. Create. Good answer right here.
Right there.
Yeah, take a bucket away by getting one of your own. The quick strike. Here's that press, Jimmy. Forcing the turnover. Good conversion from offense to defense by Northern Kentucky. Alert and aggressive.
Northern Kentucky a chance to tie or lead this trip. And it's going to be out of bounds to the Norse after this timeout. Good start here in Tulsa. Texas Tech by 2. Coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship begins today on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. John Brannon, his 4th year as a head coach at Northern Kentucky, played at Marshall under Billy Donovan and was the leading scorer at Marshall and 2-time NCAA tournament runner-up. They started their transition to Division I. They probably would have been in the tournament more than just 2 years ago when they got beat by Kentucky, but they weren't eligible yet because of that transition period. So he's done a really, really good job with this team.
I'll tell you what, in 3 years, in 3 seasons as a full D1 program, the Norse are 72-29. You know, talking about reaching the tournament twice in NIT. Coach Brannon has this program headed in the right direction, and I asked him about it. How does that affect recruiting? He said, what do you mean? Now they know who we are.
That's right.
And you can see the Billy Donovan influences on his coaching philosophy. They shoot the 3 24 times per game. And, of course, we've seen their full court pressure on made baskets. And that's a Rick Pitino, Billy Donovan approach. So the blueprint has been successful.
Said they had a little downtime this year where they hit a bit of a slump. And he called Billy. He said, talk to him about 45 minutes. Try to help me out of the funk our team was in. And it paid off. And a block shot underneath by the big fella, Chris Vogt.
And this is a quicker unit on the floor for Northern Kentucky. They can go with a smaller posse unit and get up and down the floor in terms of pace.
Vogt's been playing a little bit more. The big guy, 7'1", who just blocked that shot, his 42nd of the year. Here he is on the inside of the left hand. Carver will clear off the miss.
And Vogt that time, great position, just a little strong on his first shot.
And this time Culver on the drive against Vogt draws the foul.
We've seen the versatility of Culver, moving well without the ball earlier, got that back cut layup there off the bounce as well, putting pressure on the defense by attacking opponents' feet to get to the rim. That length and skill, so tough for opponents to match up with.
He leads the team in scoring, rebounding, and assists. About the only thing he does not great at is free throw shooting. He just missed that one.
But you know, Brad, that comes with time. And I remember having him last year in Dallas in the tournament, and you can see the potential was there. And what he did this summer, he outworked everybody. He understood his flaws, so he corrected those. Again, you're not going to be perfect, okay? And he has to work on his free throw shooting. But his dedication to become a better basketball player all the way around, not just scoring.
Right.
We talked about the assists and the steals, and also the versatility on the defensive end. He made himself into Big 12 Player of the Year.
He got stronger because he got pushed around a little bit last year.
Yeah.
So that was part of it as well. Missed both free throws.
Already has eclipsed the 1,000-point mark in 2 years. That's some big numbers.
Nice feed inside. And Adrian Nelson with a score to tie it.
Again, the ability for the Norse to be able to attack off the bounce. And what happens, their strength as a team, guys, is three-point shooting 37%, but right now they're able to get to the basket.
Culver up and under. Nice move.
And good attack there by the Red Raiders as Northern Kentucky came out in that 1-3-1 zone and got to attack the baseline, try and get the math advantage. 2 against 1 there under the hoop.
Again, Vogt in there, and McDonald getting a breather on the bench. The leading scorer and rebounder for the North sitting. And offensive foul.
Well, Coach, you talked about it. Understanding adjustment when you see a zone. What you want to do is attack it in the middle, and right there, once you get it in the middle, Culver, it now turns into a 1-on-1 situation. And now, because you have shooters spread out, you're able to dissect the defense and get right down the middle and get to the basket.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot, right in the gut of that zone at the high post.
Mooney drives all the way to the baseline and then brings it back out and almost and did throw it away. Robinson ahead on the drive. And Joko with a bucket. We're tied again at 10.
Yeah, there's an alert, aggressive mindset of Northern Kentucky, and I think being in postseasons, fellas, have helped them. The fact that NCAA, NIT, now another NCAA tournament, they're not happy with just being here. They're trying to get themselves a W.
Mooney underneath. Tips no good, and then a foul. Oh, they're going to call this one on Vogt. Thought they were going to call it on Odiase.
Yeah, that's a tough call right there because of the great defense. And let me ask you this, Coach, for an early game with a team like this, with Northern Kentucky, is it better you press early to be able to get the your energy up, get into the game a lot earlier, or do you hold back?
I like the idea of showing the press some early, to see how a team's going to attack it. Even if you take it off, you have an idea of what their press offense is like. So when you spring it on them in the second half, you can take away some of the things they try and do in their press offense. And also, to your point, the aggressiveness, being on your toes, that mindset to get yourself loose and into the game is important.
Right now, Texas Tech 0 for 3 from the free throw line. 0 for 4. So they left some out there, and we're still tied at 10. Northern Kentucky has not led in the game. Culver, tough defense. And with all of that, 10 on the shot clock. Five to shoot. McDonald, cross-court pass, knocked out of bounds. They've got 1 second on the shot clock.
Well, that's an example of the Red Raiders just so aggressive on passing lanes and their ball pressure and rotation as well, with that quickness and length. They just unnerve opponents. They don't let you run your sets.
Montez Walton coming back in. Adrian Nelson goes out. This is going to have to be a catch and release here with 1 second on the shot clock.
Yeah, quick screen, try to get it a catch and shoot opportunity to pop out. Oh, you got over the top. There it is.
Got it away, but it's short. And shot clock violation with the air ball.
Well, and that's the beauty, I think, when you talk about Texas Tech. Guys, they didn't get the steal, but they got a deflection. So that deflection forced Northern Kentucky to reset their offense with, really less than a second. And that's why coaches want you to be active with your hands to take away some opportunities on the offensive end from your opponent.
That all started with Culver in the backcourt, almost getting a turnover in the backcourt, and they didn't have a lot of time to work with by the time they got it across the timeline. Here he is on the offensive end. And fouled by Jalen Tate. 11:59 remaining. First half here in Tulsa. Red Raiders and the Norse deadlocked at 10.
Columbus. Now we're back to Ness, Lav, Jim, and Evan.
All right, Zuck, thanks. Cincinnati actually played some of their games, or maybe all their home games, in Northern Kentucky's arena a year ago when theirs was being renovated. So it's that close, as I said. The northernmost spot of Kentucky, Highland Heights, about 7 miles from Cincinnati. Tie game here. Speaking of the Norse guys, if I got a guy that averages 19.5 points a game, I got to get him some touches. He's got 1 free throw. McDonald, I'm talking about.
Well, give credit to Texas Tech for taking McDonald out of it early. Now, we haven't seen a lot of sets. You see a great play anticipation by Edwards right there. We haven't seen the pick and pop yet. We haven't seen a lot of the weave action up front to get McDonald moving. I think it's a kind of punch and field to figure out what the defense is. And again, excellent anticipation right there defensively.
Speaking of punch, Faulkner with the shoulder picks up the offensive foul.
That's the legal punch.
Yeah, that is.
That's a legal punch.
And we saw that yesterday in the Red Raiders shoot-around. They had managers and coaches taking charges as well as players. That's just something they really take great pride in. The glory stat, giving it up for a teammate.
Good move by Mooney. Goes up and under his first basket.
Good little stop and pop there.
First three-pointer of the afternoon.
Well, I love the quick action. Walton that time took one power dribble right in the middle, but he understood where Sharp was at on the perimeter because of the excellent spacing. He was able to step right into that open three.
And that's the first perimeter shot today by either team.
It is, yeah.
Every field goal's come in the paint.
And there's another one by Culver underneath to give the Red Raiders the lead back. And now the long lob to Sharp in some traffic. McDonald for three. And Francis stepped on the baseline. Now the Bleacher Report app connects you with moments that matter faster. Follow your friends and give your take on highlight scores and more. Download the Bleacher Report app today. 10:47 remaining first half. And Texas Tech by 1. Chris Beard, one of the finalists for the Naismith Coach of the Year Award. One of 4 finalists. Rick Barnes, Tony Bennett, and a guy we're going to see later tonight, Kelvin Sampson of Houston, are the 4 finalists for the Atlanta Tip-Off Club Coach of the Year.
Think about it, 2 years in a row, Coach of the Year in the Big 12. That says a lot right there with the coaching pedigree in that conference.
McDonald, a hook pass underneath. A lot of traffic. They'll kick it back outside. He got his man in the air, and he'll try another triple. This one in and out. Had a good look.
And sometimes it takes a little bit to get a little rhythm.
Moretti with a runner off the mark. And now the Norse have got numbers. And a walk takes that away.
And these are the things, I think this is the second time in transition that the Norse haven't been able to take advantage of scoring the ball. And when you look at late game situations and you're down 2 or something, you go back to opportunities that you had to convert. So to me, it's imperative that when the Norse get an opportunity to get out in transition, they either got to get a basket or they got to get to the free throw line.
Yeah, no doubt. Those are the empty possessions that will kill you in any game, and in particular with the compressed margin for error you have in the NCAA tournament going against a team like Texas Tech.
They were tops in their league in fast break points this year with 15 a game. None of that so far today. Culver for 3. Got it. 9 for Culver. And another turnover.
A good choice by Mooney to bring it out. He investigated, took a look, saw the Northern Kentucky defense was set. Get it out, get organized, put some touches on the ball.
Culver off the window, and he's fouled in the act by Faulkner. That's going to be Faulkner's second.
Well, the spacing, I think, for Texas Tech, movement of the ball, okay? Now you're set, you're ready to go, you launch it. And coaches work on this every day. If you don't have the shot, make a quick decision. But maintain the spacing. Culver, another improved aspect of his game, the ability now. He's really good at pulling up off the dribble, but to add the catch and shoot, now he makes him a more versatile scorer.
And still short on the free throw. Evan?
Well, Jim, you mentioned it for Culver, what his offseason's been like. The other aspect to it was watching that Villanova tape. That loss in the Elite Eight a lot. 4 for 13 in that game. Maybe out-physicaled a little bit. That's why you got the 10 pounds in the offseason. Seeing what Jalen Brunson was able to do. It's had a big impact on this season, guys.
Well, speaking of big impact, how about Mooney here early with the 2 assists, 2 steals, very aggressive, had the nice stop and pop as well. And there he is picking up another loose ball. He's just aligned the right way, playing with poise and composure, helping his team.
Jalen Tate's got more turnovers than he has points right now. As just threw it away on the other end again. 6 turnovers for the Norse. And it's going the other way this time from Texas Tech. There's foul on Lawrence Odiase.
Oh, the adjustment you have to make if you're Northern Kentucky, especially when you're trying to enter the ball into the post or swing it on the wing, is that Texas Tech is long. Okay, so you have to either bring the ball closer instead of kind of diagramming and making those long passes, or dribble someone out and then initiate the offense. But the long passes play into the hands of Texas Tech.
They got to create better angles as well to feed the post, and I think purposeful use of the dribble is going to be a key.
And some of that length shows up right there. Tariq Owens with a rebound.
You know, because Texas Tech doesn't let you run your sets, you're going to have to be able to improvise and create and make good choices off the bounce.
And we're going to have an offensive foul on Mooney.
One of the few mistakes that time by Mooney, who's a heady player. He gets into the lane, but watch his left shoulder or right shoulder right there. He didn't like the call, but it is correct because just by pushing off right there, he created too much space and advantage. The official was all on top of that one.
So Mooney will sit, gets a few words of encouragement. I think that's what that was.
No, he told him, said, next time beat the street.
Yeah, really.
Is that what they call tough love?
Yes, that's what it is. We saw with Tom Izzo yesterday, right? A little tough love.
That was really tough love.
Yeah.
McDonald's missed all 3 of his 3-pointers now, and he's had good looks. Culver, this is a mismatch. But a good job by Sharp.
Yep.
Trying to stay with him this time, too. Kick out to Francis for 3. Got it.
You know,
Francis.
We talk so much about Texas Tech's defense, but the last 9 games, they've been shooting 42% from long range. So it's a team that's improved their offense as the season went along.
Got their biggest lead right now of 7. Tate out to McDonald. Deep ball by Sharp. Way out there.
Great play to keep it alive that time by Francis.
These are those runs the Red Raiders go on off of their shutouts and stops defensively. They can throw the haymaker on opponents in a hurry.
Moretti double team, trying to dribble his way out of it. Took the baseline jumper that McDonald will clear off.
And I think that was a huge defensive possession right there for the Norse, because it's tougher to get back in the game when you get down close to double digits against this defense.
Sharp inside, a little spin. Tyler Sharp with 5. Cuts it to 5.
And that's an example. Texas Tech is going to deny, get out in the passing lanes and extend. You've got to put pressure on their defense by putting it on the deck and attacking the rim.
Culver short on the jumper, kept alive by Owens. Culver behind a screen. Did he get poked in the eye? Something happened. Moretti. I think he was trying to pass that and it almost went in. Going the other way is Tate, coast to coast, but he had it knocked out of bounds. It'll be Norse ball after this break. Little bench help. Brandon Francis, the senior, with a 3. 5-point Texas Tech lead. Now, the first half so far has been a struggle for Drew McDonald, the player of the year in the Horizon Leagues. Had a tough time inside, outside, and meanwhile Culver, the Big 12 player of the year, put on a show so far, fellas.
Well deployed as well. There's the poke in the eye. But Chris Beard deploys Culver in a manner that takes advantage of the myriad of ways that he can score with that size and length and the ability to bounce. Impressive, and that's good coaching. Put your best players in position to take advantage of their skills.
How do you get McDonald in the game? They've got to start doing something for him.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. What'll loosen it up for McDonald is the other 4 guys on the court. Because if they can start knocking down shots either via the pass or off the dribble, now that's going to open up some more space for McDonald to loosen up a little bit and get some shots. So it's imperative that his teammates start to be more aggressive, I think, offensively, and that'll open it up for McDonald.
We got it to him on the low block right now, but he's got to give it up to Sharp. 3-pointer way off the mark. Missed everything. And Walton was saying that he was fouled by Culver, and that's why the shot was an air ball. The officials aren't agreeing.
Well, right here you see the attention right now that he's going to get on the, especially when he's posted up. And when you're not making jump shots as of yet, it's easier for the defense to condense a little bit more and take away a lot of that space to operate down low.
Evan.
So the NCAA tournament, everything's a big deal. McDonald actually has changed his shoes in this first half. No idea exactly why that is the case, but obviously he's trying to find some rhythm. Brandon is really worried about taking care of the ball guys more than getting McDonald in this game. 8 turnovers, too many for the Norse.
And again, the lead swells to 7.
Never a good sign when one of your players starts changing their shoes mid-game.
Well, you know what? It may be his shoes that he's accustomed to playing in. So you know how we are as players. We're superstitious. So
yeah, I'm changing mine at halftime.
I saw your extra shirt and sport coat in the green room. What's that for?
I've got all kinds of options. This is a long day. Got a couple suits back there, a couple different ties and shoes and
There's
socks.
the shoes we're talking about, Drew McDonald.
Maybe the black didn't do it for him. It maybe slowed him down.
Yeah, could be.
The foot speed was a little bit slow with the black shoes.
Yeah, we could start talking about crystal ball and astrology here, and maybe burning some incense as well. Figure it out. You try anything during the NCAA tournament to get a player going.
Oh, the incense. I was waiting for that one.
Tom Izzo has his approach, right? We got to figure it out. Light a fire, smelling salt, something.
Here's McDonald with a touch with Mooney on his hip. Has to give it up again. 3-pointer. Still won't drop. There He's got one underneath.
Well, the shoes paid off.
The shoes. I mean, that time, too, great recognition because Mooney was now, because of the switch inside on McDonald, and the shot came off and carried him just enough. McDonald inside, able to get a hoop, and maybe that will get him going offensively.
Maybe next offensive possession, go back to him again. He just feels good, saw the bucket.
Boy, that's the second time Culver's had that little spin off the glass. This time a chance for a three-point play.
You know, sometimes you just got to figure out ways to just get the ball in the basket. McDonald being active and Mooney lost the ball, and then Culver, excellent use of the screen, tight curl inside, escape dribble, and then able to absorb the contact and finish.
Let's see if he can cap off the three-point play. Right now, the Red Raiders are 0 for 6 from the free throw line. Got that one to go. There's Dad looking on. Mom and Dad, Hiawatha and Regina. His dad's a Baptist minister in Lubbock, right there in Red Raider land, a local product.
Oh, so he was anointed. Culver was anointed early.
Absolutely. Moretti on the rebound. As we approach 4 minutes.
Little floppy action. Allow Mooney to work well without the ball.
Culver not in there right now. They're looking for another option. That wasn't it. Three-pointer by Owens off the mark. There's a wide open three. Still can't get it to go.
Another great look that time. Jalen Tate able to attract the defense and knew exactly where McDonald was at. Stroked it, but not able to get it in.
Drew's kind of shaking his head right now. He's 0 for 4 outside the arc, and he's a 41% three-point shooter. So it's just not happening right now. 8-point lead for the Red Raiders.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by OnStar. Be safe out there. Sonic. This is how you Sonic. And by Creative Planning. Wealth Management Redefined.
First half action here in the West region in Tulsa. 8-point lead for Texas Tech right now. Talking about the rest of the tournament. Good start for Kansas, Kentucky, and Gonzaga. The Blue Bloods blowing away their opponents, and the Big Ten and the SEC did great yesterday. Not so hot today. Ole Miss and Iowa, I think, are both behind right now.
And that just tells you, too, that the teams that we're accustomed to seeing are dominant, but tough last couple days for the Big East. St. John's going out yesterday, Marquette and Seton Hall. Villanova, you know, from that conference is only one standing.
Here's our other games coming up later on this afternoon. And then tonight we've got Iowa State and Ohio State and Houston and Georgia State.
I think on the Big East, Jimmy, not just as Moretti misses one from the charity stripe, not just the defeats, if they were closer games or competitive, but a poor showing in terms of getting blown out in those games late.
Sharp on a three, got it.
Well, that's
Tyler
key.
Sharp.
Northern Kentucky was 1 of 10. If they're going to pull off an upset, you've got to be able to knock down shots from long distance. And 1 of 10 before that shot.
That missed free throw by Moretti means the Raiders still haven't scored from the charity stripe, and he's a 93% free throw shooter. There's something wrong with that end of the floor for those guys. From 15 feet away, anyway. Mooney, fade away. Short. And a rebound off to Faulkner. Sharp. He's going to keep shooting, and he's going to keep dropping. So 5 straight for Sharp, and it cuts the lead to 3. And a timeout. There's life in the Norse of Northern Kentucky at the 2.5-minute mark, trailing by 3. Introducing delicious Orange Vanilla Coke and Orange Vanilla Coke Zero Sugar. Yeah, you heard that right. Sounds good about now. Tyler Sharp for the Norse of Northern Kentucky has been the spark that they needed to stay in this game.
Well, the former walk-on is showing his wares right now. 38% behind the three-point line, able to get inside, switch hands actually. And you never know where the offense is going to come from. McDonald may not get it going, but Sharp has been through a lot in his career. He walked on at Louisville as well. So being in tough situations, he just brushes that off, and right now kind of carrying the Norse back into this game.
65% of his field goals are three-pointers, so he showed that with his 10 points here in the first half. Lob underneath. Oh, beautiful. Mooney to Tariq Owens.
And well devised coming out of the timeout. Tariq Owens, the transfer from St. John's, graduate transfer there, has the length to go up and away and flush one home on you.
McDonald trying to get it over the baseline, and Culver, look out, goes over everything, and his teammates are hurdling photographers on the baseline to make sure he's all right.
You better. You better.
And this play is emblematic of Texas Tech and their approach to basketball.
Look out.
A little leapfrog as well.
His brother Trey was a high jump champion at Texas Tech, and obviously Jared didn't get the same hops as his brother Trey because he should have cleared that guy. Really.
Yeah, but that was the low hurdles. That's it right there. So he was able to clear it right there on the low hurdles.
That was a real wide hurdle too, wasn't it?
Listen, you know him better. I'm not gonna go there with him. This ain't the girth.
Well, he was built
right there.
Let's say he's built like a lineman for the Packers, Lombardi's Packers.
Went back in 45.
Yeah, not easy. The frozen tundra, moving the chains.
Oh. We're just glad he's okay. So is mom and dad, obviously. And Owens is going to check back in. Odiase will come out.
And it's one of those games with Odiase, because they play a smaller, quicker lineup, you'll see him being rotated in and out a lot more because the disadvantage is him switching on the opposite end on the defensive end and kind of causes some mismatches.
We're seeing some switching right here on this possession by Texas Tech as well.
Off the window, and a score inside by Walton. Cincinnati and Iowa coming down to the wire on CBS right now. And their neighbors from Northern Kentucky right here in a three-point game. And Owens had to go up to get that, and in the meantime landed on the baseline. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Scores and highlights in the latest NCAA tournament news. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half. Just a minute and 32 away.
You get the sense that Northern Kentucky has adjusted. They took that initial power surge that Texas Tech brought to this game, and then now they've countered, starting to settle in.
A chance to tie it this trip. And Owens and Culver both on Tate. It'll be out of bounds to the Norse.
Yeah, I think the Norse got away with that. I think Tate at the end, just watch as he comes down, the ball goes out on Tate.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's why Texas Tech, the crowd, the bench, everybody is upset. Like, how could you not see that call?
Coach Beard holding it in well on the sideline. So another opportunity for Northern Kentucky. Dish inside, Walton with the lane, too hard off the back of the rim. And Culver maybe got away with palming the ball on that trip. Yep. Three-pointer from the corner for Francis. Just when it was down to 3, another three-pointer by Francis has made it 6. Red Raiders on top. Lyrics are sick. The battles are lethal. Method Man and Haley Bieber host all new episodes of Drop the Mic Wednesday at 10 on TNT.
I want to get on that show.
You need to get on that show.
I should get on it. You know, because my rap lyrics are tight. You know, I'm a hip hop historian.
You need to get with your agent to get that done.
Lab's lyrics are sick. Yours are tight.
Well, you know, he's more philosophical.
He is.
He's more of a philosophical type of hip hop artist.
Yeah.
Like Common.
More spoken word.
Important trip for the Norse. Robinson maybe he's going to do it all himself. He did.
That's the way to attack pressure. Go baseline to baseline and score. Instead of getting tentative, being on your heels, go right at him.
Zanai Robinson with his first basket cuts it to 4. A half minute in the half and 12 on the shot clock. McDonald does a nice job defensively, not fouling there. And Northern Kentucky coming back. They're going to slow it down and go for 1 here.
Huge possession. You think about it. Northern Kentucky hasn't played great basketball, but yet they find themselves down 4 with a chance to either go down by 2 or 1 point, depending on what shot they can get off.
Now they better get to work. Jalen Tate on the dribble. Tate on the drive, the kick out. Walton, the extra pass was not a good one. And Culver lobs at the buzzer. Didn't get it off in time, so no further damage done.
Great
Texas Tech with the lead.
How about the anticipation there by Culver, seeing that pass, laying on the passing lane to get the steal.
Let's check in with Evan.
Well, Coach, you've held Drew McDonald in check, but Northern Kentucky's hanging around. How have they done it?
They're a really good team. They're in this tournament for a reason, so we know it's going to be a 40-minute game. We didn't end the first half like we wanted to, but give them a lot of credit.
How do you prioritize things offensively beyond Jarrett obviously leading the way?
Biggest thing for us is we want to get a shot every time. We're turning the ball over too much. I don't know if that's NCAA tournament first game nerves or maybe we got to help the guys out a little bit, but we'll make some halftime adjustments.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks.
Even with that, Texas Tech's got the lead at the break. Red Raiders 30-26 leaders over the Norse of Northern Kentucky. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament is sponsored by Booking.com. Be a booker. Gatorade Zero. Get more out of zero. State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 1-800-STATE-FARM. And by Subway. Now delivering to your front door.
Take a look at the Geico first half statistics. Neither team exactly tearing it up, especially from three-point range, and terrible free throw shooting by Texas Tech as we bring you back to Tulsa. Brad Nessler, Jim Jackson, Steve Lavin. Lav, if I'm John Brannon, I'm thinking my leading scorer's got 1 field goal. I'm only down 4. That's not bad.
Yeah, need to get him started early, though. Get McDonald involved. Get him to see the ball go through the net, and then also take care of the ball. 9 turnovers, those empty possessions will hurt you in a game like this with the compressed margin for error.
Jimmy, what about Texas Tech?
Well, it's the same thing. Coach Beard talked to Evan Washburn going out. Too many turnovers, 7. They only average 12, but also only 1 for 8 from the free throw line. Have to do a better job of converting once they get to the free throw line.
Checking with Evan.
Well, guys, beyond just Drew McDonald, Jalen Tate, 0 points in that first half, and he's one of their leading scorers as well for Northern Kentucky. And interesting, John Brannon, the team came out of the locker room when I spoke with them, and then he brought Drew McDonald and Jalen Tate back, and they went back in the locker room to have some extra words. The importance of those two getting involved, he felt like was paramount. Really like what they did defensively, though, guys, and especially off the glass, holding Texas Tech to 1 shot.
Here is Jalen Tate, the aforementioned, who had 3 turnovers in that first half, so he's got to be a little more careful. That one he had swatted back in his face by Odiase.
One of the positives, Northern Kentucky +5 on the boards against the Red Raiders.
The scoring in the paint was even in the first half, which is kind of hard to believe because it seemed like every time Texas Tech was in there, they scored. Here's McDonald, and he's looking for a goaltending and doesn't get it. Back-to-back block shots.
Great help side, weak side defense coming from Owens on that block shot.
Inside is Moretti.
Boy, nice pass by Culver, too, and good action by Texas Tech from the weak side. Breakdown defensively by Northern Kentucky.
Here's a guy that's kept Northern Kentucky in the hunt. Tyler Sharp with 12.
I love the fact that time he turned down the screen, Steve, and he recognized the baseline was open and smartly 2 dribbles up again, offhand, able to lay it in.
Culver got some help from behind. McDonald, I think, it's going to be the guy that was called for the foul. No, it's not. It is going to be Faulkner.
Yeah, well, it's clear Sharp recognizes that when Texas Tech extends into passing lanes, the court spread, their lanes or seams, to put the ball on the deck and then read and react accordingly, whether it's laying it up or pocket passing or fanning the ball outside based on help rotations.
There's a better free throw. I told you all they'd do switch ends.
You know what? That may be the case. And I'll say something this about Northern Kentucky. Keep our eye on this in second half, too. Jalen Tate has been switched over to the point guard, so he's still kind of learning how to play. Sharp is more an aggressive shoot-first scoring guard. So when you look at maybe some of the mistakes that Jalen has made, is again, naturally he's not that point guard, but now he's in a position this year to be able to play the position, but it takes time to feel as comfortable, especially in this environment.
Had it poked out of bounds by Mooney. Still be Northern Kentucky ball.
Tate so upright there, built like a willow weed. Got to lower that center of gravity. Lower the body to lower the ball. Well, willow weed, a chopstick, whatever you want to call it. String bean, straight up and down. You got to get lower. Lower the fanny, the anchor. That lowers the center of gravity.
We got the fanny in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got the incense in the fanny.
Our fannies are going to be anchored until about midnight in Tulsa.
Fannies are key, especially in the post.
Here is the post. Odiase against McDonald, had it knocked away from behind by Walton.
And great weak side help again. Sharp.
And Sharp got Culver in the air, and he's going to go to the line for three.
That's a crafty move or maneuver by Sharp there. Put the defender in the popcorn popper. Just show him that shot fake, the threat of the shot, then the one bounce, a step back, another shot fake, and then a little theatrics. Give him the Laurence Olivier, Duvall, De Niro, Denzel. And as a result, gets himself to the foul line. Nothing wrong with a little acting, right?
Well, we had to do Clooney. Come on.
Oh, true.
He went to Northern Kentucky. He attended Northern Kentucky.
True.
That's 13 for Tyler Sharp, and he's one off his average. Made the all-tournament team in their win over Wright State to win the Horizon League championship. And got two. One more coming. Tyler Edwards will check in. Mooney goes out. Odiase likewise gets a little break. Tyler Jr. out of Mount Washington, Kentucky, trying to make it 3 in a row from the stripe. Does. 15 for him.
Yeah, now you get a chance off the free throw to set your pressure, to get up, to force Texas Tech to be a little uncomfortable.
And they were for a second there. Now Culver in traffic goes down, and the guy that fouled him is the one that's in the most pain.
A good job by Texas Tech being patient against the press. And as you know, Coach, you want to beat it over the top and then attack. And unfortunately, if you watch at the end right there.
That was not a good landing for Faulkner.
No,
it's his fourth foul, too.
Yeah, right there. It's just the contact coming from Culver on his ankle, the weight coming down. But fortunately, he's been able, limping, but he's been able to get off the court on his own. So that is a good sign from that perspective.
Joko comes in to take his spot in the lineup. Here's Francis on a dish underneath to Owens.
Now Francis at peace with his game. Seeing him knock down shots and their playmaking, the transfer from Florida.
Nice backdoor cut, knocked out of bounds by Francis.
You know, I like Francis. He's from Dominican Republic. One of my favorite golf courses are down there. So
and some good cigars, too.
Good cigars, too. So, but you talked about the ability for him to affect the game. We saw him hit a three-pointer earlier. That time, the dribble penetration. But how about Owen staying patient, not inching in until the last minute in order to receive it, and then ultimately get the dunk?
Yeah, just spoon-fed him for the easy. Also, Francis defensively has been a factor in this game. At times guarding McDonald. He's got the versatility to guard multiple positions.
Working on Faulkner's left ankle on the sideline in pain over there after that collision with Culver on the other end. Ten on the shot clock. Texas Tech again doing another good job defensively. And Sharp trying to get it to Tate, almost threw it away. Going to have to hurry. 2 to shoot. Got it away, but it's an air ball. That's a shot clock violation. You watch your sports news without the yelling and the fake debate. Stream CBS Sports HQ, free 24/7 network for nonstop tournament highlights and picks. Download the CBS Sports app today. Full court pressure again from the Norse. And Culver has no trouble with that. Mooney hooks it in the paint to Owens. Now Culver spins with a left hand. Got it.
Well, Texas Tech flattens Northern Kentucky's defense and let Culver go to work in space. The nice little Baryshnikov spin move, the soft touch, and finish one more time.
Again, the lay-in with the left hand and a chance for a three-point play. And after missing his first 4 free throws in the first half, Jarrett's hit his last 3.
Well, and that's an example, too, of the young man's growth physically. To be able now to get in the lane, take a little bump, and then finish now with his offhand.
And he gives Texas Tech a lead of 8, which matches their biggest advantage in the first half. Where's the offense going to come from for the Norse? Tate rejected by Owens, out of bounds to Northern Kentucky.
Well, as I say, keep in mind, Tariq Owens 2.4 blocks per game. That was second in the Big 12. You know, 78 blocks. The timing for Owens there, second time we've seen that.
And my Johnnies could have used him in the NCAA tournament this year. Down the stretch in the Big East, that length and size, a factor at the rim.
Of course, they lost in the first 4 into Arizona State. The team we'll see later today. Look out!
Yikes.
But poor spacing right here in transition. Coaches work on a 3-on-2, 2-on-1, and you see Owens and Francis both.
That was an air pass, not an air ball.
Yeah, Mooney has to be smarter. He has to recognize that and see that early, that 2 guys are running next to each other. Maybe let one clear through, maintain your dribble, come back to the middle.
Yeah, the degree of difficulty on that play, unnecessary, given they had the numbers in the break, not executed well.
Let's see if they can get Sharp open. Northern Kentucky, he's been their scorer. Well, he had a half a look. Now down low, the boat. They had it knocked out of bounds with 8 on the shot clock.
And Texas Tech, when they get a mismatch down low, doing an excellent job of utilizing one, pushing the post player out a little bit further off the block, but then the quickness of the hands to be able to deflect away the dribble to negate maybe the height disadvantage.
Somebody behind us just yelled, "Don't dribble." One of the fans. That's an astute basketball fan.
Shoot or pass
That's
away.
right. You're 7-1. Don't put it on the deck.
No, pass out of a crowd. Don't dribble into a crowd.
Tate up off the window and 1. His first field goal and a chance to make it a 3-point play.
I like the play, coach. It's just a little isolation over the top, and now you can go one-on-one. Tate, keep in mind he's 6'6", so he's able to get that long frame, that beanpole you talked about, the stalk right there, straight up and down.
And I like the jump stop at the end where he got down and low like a crouching tiger there, gathered himself, and was able to finish as a result. So he is listening to us as the game goes along.
He dropped the fanny?
Yep, drop the anchor, drop the fanny, lower center of gravity. Why do you think sumo wrestlers are so effective?
That's a 3-point play for Tate. And the lead cut down to 5 as we're 4 minutes into the second half.
How about Coach Brannon looking for combinations that are going to work and puts McDonald on the bench, lets him observe over there like an assistant coach. 1 of 7 on the game, trying to find a way.
Mooney for 3. Yes. Mooney's first 3-pointer. Sharp has to reset it at the top of the key with 10 on the shot clock, and he is fouled by Francis as we go to break. Mooney from outside, and Texas Tech with an 8-point lead.
The tournament update, halftime on TBS. Another Big 12 team in a tight one with a double-digit seed. It's UC Irvine's Max Hazard. Right as the blinker comes on, he ties it. K-State missed their last 11 shots of the half. As we go back to Ness, Lav, Jim, and Evan.
All right, Zook, thanks here. Another Big 12 team with a lead. And Chris Beard was not happy with that last foul by Brandon Francis. And I mean, not happy.
Well, as we talked about this time of the year, everything's so significant. Each breakdown defensively, understanding your game assignment, and Chris Beard reaching into his toolbox, trying to use every method possible to motivate. And what I like is that Brandon Francis wasn't phased.
No.
I think he knows what he signed up for when he came to Texas Tech.
Inside, another block shot. Odiase this time. Culver lobs. Owens underneath.
Excellent pass over the top by Culver. Really led Tariq Owens to that easy basket, so he didn't have to dribble, but just catch and lay it in.
Well, the evolution of the young man's game of now becoming a facilitator, patient in the fast break, allowing Owens to get to the open spot.
Both trying to get rid of it to Robinson. They move it around. Three-pointer is an air ball by Tate. And out of bounds to Northern Kentucky.
Great teams figure out ways defensively to create havoc. That time, Culver just enough on Walton, and then, like you talked about, turning opportunities in the fast break into buckets. Right there, the creativity off the dribble, but again, the patience by Culver.
And you can tell on both those possessions, this team is tied together, working in concert, like dance. Partners there on that pass and delivery, but on defense, the help.
And another turnover. That's what Northern Kentucky didn't need. Down 10. Football continues with the AAF. Watch Alliance of American Football on TNT and stream on Bleacher Report Live all season long.
We saw another turnover right there by Northern Kentucky. And Coach Lav, you talked about this. The margin of error that the Norse have is very limited. And you already are playing against a more physically team that has size and length, and what you can't do is give them ample opportunities to take advantage of it by turning the ball over, in particular when the pressure really isn't there and they're unforced turnovers.
Yeah, 13 turnovers tonight. You combine that with the 2 of 12 shooting by Northern Kentucky, ice cold, anemic numbers from long distance, and on the year they've averaged 8 3-pointers per game. So that's really been the riddle for Coach Brandon.
When they beat Wright State in their tournament title game, they had 12 threes. Speaking of a three, there's Culver with one. And the lead swells to 13.
Oh, shit.
Score inside by Robinson.
And that's what's available. Those driving lanes against pressure. You either back screen or you put it on the deck and attack off the bounce and make good reads or decisions.
Culver lost the handle this time. The outlet to Sharp. Tracks it down, and with the left hand. 17 for Sharp.
That's a good answer to that. Consecutive possessions, easy buckets by Northern Kentucky, gets it under double digits.
Mooney with a crossover and the lob to Owens. Woo. Walton throws the shoulder.
Well, how about Mooney? Patient and watch the crossover back into the fold, and again, Owens does a great job of playing peekaboo on the baseline, hiding behind the defense, and then the lob up top. And as you like to say it, Lav, that 0-footer is always a great shot.
High percentage, like playing Nerf basketball as a child, backing down your little brother and flushing one home on him. Owens with that length. He made that look easy. That was a one-handed catch and jam.
It is easy.
In midair. Well, for you. I played at Chapman University, Division II guy. We didn't get airborne.
Francis gave up a shot underneath. They bring it back to Culver. Culver left hand, and it blocked by Joko. And Joko bringing it the other way, coast to coast. Rejected by Owens.
You can do it. I can do it. Tariq Owens not giving up on the play.
And now Culver's open for three. Has McDonald touched the ball this half?
Early on and got stripped on the post.
And that's what happens. This Texas Tech team, they just unnerve you with the number of looks. They help from the baseline side. There it is.
This time he got through the double team, came up short.
And still blanketed, even though he did bust through that double team, found a seam there. I think it's difficult to simulate the speed and the way in which Texas Tech's defense is deployed. You can watch it on film, talk about it in a scouting report, try and practice it in your prep, but it's just different.
Tariq Owens, he lost a little hop on that one. That was a two-footer.
Hey, but listen, the force got it over the top. You know, he has a little back pain a little bit from trying to stuff it in, but it's still 2 points.
Chris Beard urging the fans on the far side of the court. He likes the way his defense is playing and his offense as well. And the crowd is getting into it. Here's a floater that won't go. Culver with a rebound. There's a lot of Red Raider fans in this building.
Well, the year that they had, you understand why. The excitement is there. The opportunity to advance and do something special for the program.
Mooney inside. Everything working right now. And things not going so well for the Norse, but for the Red Raiders, they've stretched it out to 53-38.
The leapfrog.
Brad Pope took one for the team right there. I don't know if his camera's all right, but Brad's okay. And he was checking his phone during the last time out with all his friends saying, hey, I was on national TV. That was cool, wasn't it?
His lights went up. Mentions.
It's like Joe Thomas, offensive lineman that retired last season from the NFL.
Hall of Famer.
Joe's only half the size he used to be, though.
He's lean and mean now, huh?
He is lean and mean.
Going all protein, less carbs,
I
smart.
don't know, but he's lost about 100 pounds, I'll tell you that much. He looks good.
Hot yoga.
Under 11 minutes in this hot yoga mess. McDonald outside, three is short. Deshaun Corprew in the lineup for the first time for Texas Tech. They've got the luxury right now with the lead of playing some guys that maybe wouldn't be in there if it was a tight game. Culver cross courts it to the guy I just talked about, short on the three. Tate baseline drive, hung in the air too long, had it swatted by Odiase. And it's going to be out of bounds to Northern Kentucky when we come back as they trail 53-38. Now let's take a look at the double take replay presented by Orange Vanilla Coke.
Precise passing and an electrifying one-hand catch and jam, making it look easy.
There's another highlight, the player of the year with a hurdle job over the photographers on the baseline. And he has been a star all season long, including today. Unfortunately, the guy that's standing next to him, Drew McDonald, has had a really tough day. 1 field goal, 1 for 8. He's got 2,064 career points and 1,080 career rebounds. And he's stuck on 3 points right now. They desperately need him to somehow get involved to try to get the Norse back in business here.
Well, keep in mind, that's an excellent out-of-bounds play out of the timeout to get this, 2 points. Now, you're down 13. The key is to get it under 10
Right.
by the 8-minute timeout. Now you give yourself a chance, but you got to play defense on this end. And, Coach, as you know, you see Culver go for the jump shot. Consecutive stops is what you need because you can't just go back and forth.
No, a string of stops or shutouts. Try and chip away, get a putback on the offensive boards, attack the rim, get fouled, make a couple free throws, and can set your defense and continue to try and get stops or shutouts.
That's a big three right there. That'll help.
A sharp 3 for 3 this half. It's the rest of the team that has to step up, join the party offensively.
Tyler's got 20. On the other end, 22 for Culver, the two leading scorers. Mooney got up in the air and drew a foul from Faulkner. And if it's on Faulkner, that's 5, I think. You can watch every game live on your phone, your tablet, computer, and your favorite streaming device with March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. Evan Washburn.
Just trying to get Drew McDonald in this game in terms of scheme from John Brandon. Offensively, his priorities, we've got to have movement. He flat out said, if you're not moving the ball's not popping around the horn, I'm pulling you out of this game. That's really all that was said in one of the last huddles here. It's not specific to McDonald or Tate. It's about movement offensively for Northern Kentucky.
Well, you know, here's a challenge when you're McDonald. I've been through it before. My junior year, started out the tournament, missing shots, wasn't able to get a rhythm, but I'm a guard. I got the ball in my hand. I can go create.
Right.
McDonald has to wait for the offense to initiate, and someone has to get him the basketball. He's not the versatile big man that can handle the ball on the perimeter, create a shot of his own. So the challenge becomes more dramatic in regards to trying to get offensively going when the defense is schemes towards you that can take it away from you, because again, someone has to give you the basketball in order for you to be effective.
Yeah, and difficult to free yourself or get open when you're playing against Texas Tech, because they're switching defenses, they're smothering on-ball pressure, and then they're collapsing well on his post catches like bees on honey. So just really no open looks for McDonald.
They're the number 2 field goal percentage defense team in the nation, and they're showing it again here today.
That was a 15th turnover that time by Northern Kentucky. This is a team that values the basketball. Keep in mind, they average 17 assists, only down to 7 right now. So that's just excellent, again, defense by Texas Tech.
And Chris Beard, a defensive wizard, really a genius when it comes to this side of the ball. How about Culver just feeling it, fellas?
25 for Culver. The lead swells to 17.
Great lift on that shot. The rainbow jumper, just sending it up to the clouds.
Here's McDonald against Odiase. Tried a baseline pass. It was a good thought, but threw it away. There's the Bulls of Buffalo. They're coming up next. They'll take on Arizona State as Bobby Hurley's new school plays Bobby Hurley's old school. He's the head coach at Buffalo before moving on to Arizona State. So a guy that he hired, Nate Oates, as an assistant when he was at Buffalo, now the head coach there. So those two old friends will square off in our second game coming up in about a half an hour. Culver, Tyler Sharp chasing him around the court, lobs it underneath, and Moretti lost the handle, but saved it. 4 on the shot clock. Edwards hoists one. Got to the rim, but that's all. Sharp, feed underneath, a good one to take.
Great defense that time, staying patient. The North's able to force a long shot, and now you get out in transition, take the recipient off a pass in transition to get an easy one.
Culver the cross court to Edwards, the extra pass, Moretti for 3. The rebound taken down by Walton. Walton pull up deep three. Got it. His first today is 62nd of the season.
A great time to shoot the three balls. That trailer.
Got it down to 12 at the 6:50 mark. A game summary for the Norse of Northern Kentucky. Way too many turnovers, and that's been the difference really in the ball game.
Well, yeah, I mean, Texas Tech, true to who they are as a team all season, forced teams into 15 turnovers a game. That's first in the Big 12, 26 in the country, and it's all about activity. Okay, the hands are up, the feet are moving, never giving up on the plate. Even when you mismatch inside, you think you have an opportunity, and then you turn it over, and the beauty is you get 14 points off of those 16 turnovers.
The winner of this one goes on to make the winner of our second game, Buffalo, Arizona State.
Just building on your point there, Jimmy. 16 turnovers, 7 blocks, and 6 steals. That activity and tenacious approach is what creates their offense, but it's also what they hang their hat on as a program. Chris Beard at Arkansas Little Rock, and now again at Texas Tech, getting teams to the NCAA tournament. This year winning a piece of the Big 12 because they know that approach is what leads to W's.
Tate gets it down to McDonald, still looking for his second field goal of the day, and he's not going to get it there. Owens blocks his 5th shot of the afternoon.
And 8 blocks. I mean, that is a factor when you've got the rim protector like Tariq Owens. It's a difference maker.
And Culver, sweet drive with the right hand. And he's got 27.
Brad, how about the hesitation there? Just
really smooth.
Change of pace in his game is one of the factors that makes Culver so effective.
It will still be Red Raider ball. Going back to the bench as Joko comes back in.
I think Coach Brannon's at a point now where, because McDonald has been so discombobulated and shut down, he's going to go with this small lineup, full court press, try and change the tempo and get back into this game with a smaller defensive unit.
And that means that now you have to concentrate really because you're smaller on defensive rebound. All 5 guys have to get to the glass, and then once you receive it, the rebound, you got to get out and run.
And they do come up with a rebound. Tate looking to run. Drops it to Sharp for 3, in and out. And Culver with a rebound at the 5:20 mark.
Not a bad shot. In transition, get a chance to see if you can get an offensive rebound. And Sharp, to this point, has been the main anchor in regards to offense. Again, the defensive stops are going to get you back in this game.
Moretti buries a jumper.
Boy, good movement by Moretti there. Working without the ball to get the catch and shoot opportunity. Very smooth.
And that should have been a foul on Owens, I think, on that 3-point attempt. Tate thinks so. So does John Brannon. The officials don't see that.
We got a Moretti in this first game and then a Remy Martin to follow in our next game.
Can we get a vino a little bit later?
I think Brad Nessler worked that out. I bet you.
I did that with the committee.
For this bracket, no doubt. Adult beverage bracket.
At 5 on the shot clock. Culver on a fadeaway. And knocked out of bounds. Mooney on the hand of Tate, I guess is what they're going to say.
Here's that movement without the ball, using teammates as screeners and able to free himself as a result. Then prudent decision to stop and pop. So often a player will take it in to the hoop against the trees and shoot a lower percentage shot instead of just pull up.
Let's see if that's all for Culver today. He's at least going to get a breather. He's been out there a long time and good enough for 27 points so far. Definitely showing us why he was the Big 12 Player of the Year. And the officials having a look at the monitor. I'm not sure what for. Unless it was to see who knocked the ball out of bounds. Or is it a hook and hold? That might be what they're talking about. Underneath was Mooney and Tate that were tangled up. Gene Steratore, what do you see?
I see just a basic, just a box out. I think we get a little bit of an arm there, but I don't think that's going to rise to an F1 level. I think they're being cautious with the play. I don't know if the coach requested that, but it does, to me, just look like a basic box out. A couple arms get tangled. Doesn't look like anything that would rise to an F1, though, to me.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Gene. So they continue to look at it over there. On the other side, Tony Henderson and KB Mike Reed. Gene Steratore, our rules analyst. I remember when the regular NFL referees came back from the strike. Gene was on the Thursday night game I was doing, and he came out of the tunnel and just kind of tipped his cap to the crowd because they were happy to see real officials back in to the NFL. And one more
It may
look.
have been the only time in my career that I was applauded as an official as well, Brad, I may say.
What about when you retired? Did you get a lot of people to come and say, hey, great job?
I did get a lot of thank you for ending your career type of letters.
Yeah.
I did do that. And the applause in Baltimore lasted until the first offensive hold that we
That's
called,
right.
and then we went back to normalcy.
I remember that, yeah. Well, again, here's what they're looking at. They've seen every angle that we have. Tariq Owens kind of came over the top as well. So now Landis Poole joins the crew for the discussion. And we'll see if one of them will come over here and tell us what it's all about. Meanwhile, a nice
Usually
break.
when three officials are grouping together guys too, that may mean that one believes that it's one thing and the other may believe that it's another, because only two go to the monitor. They would ask the third to come in if they have a little split decision and ask that third to kind of be that person. Let's see what Mike Reed has to say to him.
And Lab, what do we got?
Well, it would seem rather obvious. It was a hook without a hold. So it wasn't a hook and hold. It was just the front end, therefore it's out of bounds.
Just a hook and ladder then, basically. It's a lot of bounds to Northern Kentucky at the 4:25 mark remaining as they trail by 16. Trying to get some points and a quick stop. Try to work their way back into this thing by the 4-minute media timeout. There's Sharp way up on the window, had to, with Odiase right in his grill.
I guess we shouldn't be surprised how sharp Texas Tech has been, given their shoot-around practice yesterday was as well choreographed and organized as well as entertaining.
Even had different music for different things. It's amazing.
They had the Rocky theme song going, some country western music.
Mooney in no man's land just throws one up there and almost went in. Rebound will come off to Adrian Nelson. There's a three by Walton halfway in and came back out.
Just can't find the bottom of the net. I mean, and it's been a theme, all game for the North. Excellent shots early. So you see defense, and then even when you get an opportunity, you can't take advantage of it. You get a turnover, it turns right back into an opportunity for the Red Raiders.
And now they've got the biggest advantage of the day. McDonald just having a tough time making the catch and working against Odiase. Trying to find anything. Turnaround from the free throw line won't go.
And McDonald earlier this year against Cincinnati was 3 for 15, only had 8 points. And again, it goes to the length and the strength, the quickness of the more established teams that give McDonald some issues, and it showed up this afternoon.
Yeah, he's 1 for 10 right now. Been a tough day for a guy that's been a great player for Northern Kentucky, but not today. 68-50.
They've made 6 straight shots, Ness.
We could use some of that right here, Zuck. Wow, Gardner Webb on Virginia. Oklahoma winner over Ole Miss here. Everything's staying the way we expected, or I guess the Cedars expected. Number 3, Texas Tech leading number 14, Northern Kentucky by 18. As you take a look at the game reset. Culver is back in there for Texas Tech, working on a 27.8 rebound, 7 assist day so far.
But it's been efficient. Rarely did we see a forced shot.
Right.
And, you know, I always tell guys, too, that, you know, high volume shooters or the main, see this beautiful play right there inside. When you're the main guy, you don't have to force shots because the ball is going to eventually be in your hands, whether that's a lot in the first half or second half. So you can probe, pick, allow the offense to work, and then go after your shots. So excellent job by Culver this afternoon.
Yeah, he's done everything in the flow of the game.
Yep.
Well, and it's rare that you've got a player on a team his size that leads you not only in points, but in assists as well, and then the rebounds.
Right.
So in all 3 critical categories, he's sharing the ball. As you mentioned, Jimmy, he's able to take over the game to shot make and play make, and then he helps you on the glass.
There's the Sun Devils warming up in the hallways here in Tulsa as they're getting ready for their matchup with Buffalo. It's been a long week for the Sun Devils. At first they were in Vegas at the Pac-12 tournament, and then they flew home to Arizona, then they flew to Dayton and beat St. John's in the first 4 in, and then they flew here. And you were with them. What time did you get in? Like 4 o'clock in the morning?
4 o'clock in the morning. But you know what? It's worth it because this is what you work for. I mean, the tiredness, you say, you know what? I can deal with that in the off season. But right now, this is the position we put ourselves in by not taking care of games. The Vanderbilt game, the Princeton game hurt that Arizona State team early. You win those 2, maybe you're not in that playoff, that play-in game. But now, forget it. You're here. This is what we have to do. Got to take care of business.
I agree, Jimmy. You'd rather lace them up, get back on the court as soon as possible when you're playing in a good way. The Ernie Banks, let's play 2 approach. That's what's in effect for 18 to 22-year-olds when they get to the NCAA tournament.
Tyler Sharp with a 3 and 23 for him. It's looking like too little too late as we're under the 2-minute mark.
This is where passing and catching, being strong with the ball, closing down distance between passer and receiver is critical, and then salt the victory away with free throws.
Mooney just taking his time and salting away some of the clock. 7 to shoot, and he will. Short. Nelson with the board.
You know, there's a couple takeaways too. Texas Tech came in and did exactly what they wanted to do, was stymie the offensive execution of Northern Kentucky. And if you're Coach Brandon, you say, where do we go from here? You put yourself in a position as a program to continue to grow and compete.
Yep.
You're in the NCAA tournament. You just got to add more pieces to the puzzle. You're on national TV, so now you can go out and recruit those pieces. So I know the loss hurts.
Right.
But there are benefits into being here, and I think this program behind his leadership will continue to grow.
Under a minute. Baseline 3 off the side of the backboard, and a rebound for Drew McDonald. One of the few things that's gone right for him today, and you feel bad for him after a brilliant career that he's going to have a day like this.
The mayor will always be loved at Northern Kentucky,
and
trust me.
Just when I mentioned he's had a tough day, he has probably his best move of the day, but only his 2nd field goal.
Well, Texas Tech, what Evan talked about in terms of the learn and burn, they're back now.
They're ripping that sticker off the phone.
In the win column, rip off the sticker and get ready for the next one.
It's about a 3-second difference on the shot clock, in the game clock. And Mooney with a hook pass over to Moretti. And maybe one last shot right here. McDonald dribbles into the front court, will let it fly. And that's kind of the way the day was for number 34. But as you see, Texas Tech congratulating him on a great career. They'll move on, and Northern Kentucky will go back to Highland Heights and think about next year. 72-57. Red Raiders win their 27th game of the year. And Chris Beard, as we said, one of the 4 finalists for Coach of the Year, and boy, his team put on a clinic on defense today, and then the Big 12 Player of the Year did the rest.
Well, it's what Chris Beard and the Red Raiders do to teams. They really discombobulate. They get to the central nervous system of a team offensively, and as a result, McDonald and Northern Kentucky looked unnerved for the entire game. Never really found a flow.
They've done that to a lot of people, so they move on to play the winner of our second game, which is coming up at about 4:15 Eastern time, Buffalo and Arizona State. But right now, we're going to take you courtside to the winning coach and Evan Washburn.
Well, Coach, you told anyone that would listen that Northern Kentucky was a really good team. We saw that for a lot of the first half. What opened things up, though, in the second half for your guys?
I thought we stayed committed to defense today. It was one of our better games. We guarded the three-point line with urgency. I thought in the second half we took care of the ball better, and our offense helped our defense.
What do you want your guys to take away from this game? Because we know this first round, as you mentioned, there's a lot of nerves to it.
Yeah, we came here to play 80 minutes of winning basketball, so we're halfway there. We'll make some adjustments, try to get better next game, but we came here to play 2 games, not 1.
Coach, congrats on the win. You can take that sticker off the back of your phone, by the way.
Yeah, finally. That's exactly right. Thanks.
All right, let's bring Jared in here. And Jared, we actually touched upon the last time you were in the NCAA tournament, it didn't go the way you wanted. You had a huge impact in this game. How much did that game against Villanova last year really fuel your season and what you did in this one?
I mean, that's what we worked for all off season, all summer. I mean, we just worked to get it to the tournament, and now we're just trying to make something happen again. It's a blessing to be out here.
What makes this team special? Because we know about the defense, but the offense really started to open up in the second half.
Our culture, we're the most together team. We got chemistry, and we play for each other. We go come out every night and play hard.
It was a pleasure to watch. We'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you.
And an impressive performance, 29 for the Big 12's most valuable player, and a 72-57 win as the Red Raiders move on. Tournament games continue live on CBS, TBS, and True TV. Arizona State Sun Devils and the Buffalo Bulls are coming up on TNT. Right now, we send you to the studio for the Capital One Tournament Central after these messages.